Hey, welcome back, everybody. HSC Podcast. What are we at? 44? I think we're at 44. Wow. If you're still listening, thanks for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like if this is your first time listening. You can catch us on Anchor, uh, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and especially YouTube. So this week is going to be an interesting week because we're getting close to the end of the season, and if you've been following us till now, but maybe not, but we're coming real close on our games. All of us have between a 60 and 70% win percentage, which is awesome. So if you guys are watching us, you better be betting on us too. We've been talking college football at the beginning of the episodes, but we're not going to talk college football today. What I really want to talk about before we get into last week's recap, I want to talk about some offensive position players in the NFL. So let's start with quarterback. So who's your top three quarterbacks? Top three quarterbacks right now, NFL.
Well, the way they're playing or what we think, I'm going with what's going on right now. Like it would have to be Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen.
So number one, Hurts. Number two, Mahomes. Number three, Josh Allen.
Yeah, at the moment.
At the moment,
I mean,
Wes,
Herbert is still. There's.
Well, there's always Derek Carr.
We're gonna we'll go back and talk about this. So Wes, what are your three first?
Well, I gotta go with Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow.
Wow. I'm gonna also go with Mahomes number one. I'm gonna go with Josh Allen number two. And I'm gonna go with Justin Fields number three.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did it. So,
are you talking about 3 years from now? Or are you talking about right now?
We're talking about these top three. So I think Mahomes number one. Wes, you think Mahomes is number one? Derek, you think Hurts is number one?
Talking right now. Yeah. I mean, if we were doing a draft and we're going to draft a quarterback, I'm taking Mahomes, but Hurts is the quarterback on the best team, and he has great numbers. And
is it because of his record, or why is Hurts number one?
Well, because he also isn't. Remember at the beginning of the year, everyone thought, "Oh, Hurts isn't even going to be with the team anymore," and he's playing really well. Let's look up his stats here real quick.
But if you were starting a team, you're taking Mahomes.
Yeah. But I mean, he's got a QBR rating of 108.4. He's 22 touchdowns to 3 interceptions.
Right.
3,100 yards passing. That's really good numbers.
Yeah. That's really good.
So, Wes, why do you think Mahomes is better than Hurts? So you took Mahomes one also. Why is he better than Hurts?
I think what we've seen in his first couple of years, as far as I think quarterbacks are tested when you're dealing with certain amounts of pressure. When pressure is applied, Mahomes has a much more ability to make decisions and come up with plays to deal with the pressure. Hurts, I'm really impressed with Hurts when it comes to there was expectations for Hurts not to be very good, and he's proved everybody wrong. That right. You know what, I could play in the league. No, that I could play at a Pro Bowl level. I just like Mahomes as far as ability to on the fly, basically navigate a defense. Um, he's done some things that are just stupid and incredible about like dealing with pressure. And
So here's a question I have for you. Do you think so? You have Mahomes losing Tyreek Hill, right? And then you have Hurts gaining AJ Brown and having Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner. Does that make Hurts or does that make Mahomes better because he loses a great one of the top receivers in the league currently at Miami, and he's still performing at a high level? Does that make a difference?
I think the thing about Mahomes, I think the jury's still out on Mahomes. Everybody wants, I mean, he's still very young. But I'm just saying in the future, like maybe if we're talking about right now, Jalen Hurts is playing the best out of anybody. But I'm just talking over the next couple of years. I think Mahomes is going to prove that he's the best quarterback in the league overall.
Right.
Going through the whole process. A lot of these teams, they're still dysfunctional. I mean, this whole year has been crazy and dysfunctional, and it's he's navigating the league without Tyreek Hill, and he's doing.
He does have the best tight end like ever. I mean, that's helpful.
It's a good safety net, but like I said, over time, I just think he's gonna, even though he's 0-3 versus Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
But I think that you can't really, because if you got to choose between Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, as far as like, okay,
I'm still taking Mahomes. I'm still
taking Mahomes, but Joe Burrow ain't bad second.
Right.
So
let's hear Derek. Let's give us your argument for why you're taking.
Well, here's what I thought was what we're doing right now, not what we're doing in the future.
No, right. Well, I'm talking right now. Like right now, make an argument for Jalen Hurts as the best quarterback in the league.
Well, I mean, Mahomes is great, and it's maybe Mahomes is kind of like not like LeBron factor, but more because he is, I think, in an upper echelon of quarterbacks. So you kind of take it for granted, which I get. But Hurts this year is playing out of his mind. He has 3 interceptions to Mahomes' 11. He has a better quarterback rating. Yes, Mahomes has more touchdown passes, and more yards, but Hurts doesn't make mistakes. And Mahomes is great, like creating plays on his feet, but Hurts can then kill you by running.
Yeah.
I mean, Mahomes does it sporadically, and he picks his poison, and he's great at it. But Hurts can, I mean, throw for 300 and go for 100 on the ground. That's what the added dimension is for him.
Do you think that Hurts is a product though of his receivers and his running back and just his team overall? Well, like, I mean, you have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and fucking Miles Sanders. Like that's pretty good.
Peyton Manning had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, and Edgerrin James, right? We're still calling him one of the greatest of all time, right?
Yeah.
Joe Montana had Jerry Rice and Roger Craig, John Taylor, and Brent Jones, and Tom Rathman. He's still one of the greatest.
Those are a lot better options than what Hurts has. I mean, AJ Brown's great. Sanders that's a whole different stratosphere as what we're talking Jerry Rice, and it's like,
and then maybe it's Hurts that's making Sanders better.
Yeah,
because Miles Sanders was, Miles Sanders was the always what he can be, and then this year he's actually proving that he can be really good. And maybe it's because now that Hurts has upped his game that it makes it a lot easier for Sanders to get holes now.
Right. So do you think Hurts, and we'll just talk future for a second, do you think Hurts has these same years next year, the year after? Do you think he's going to continue the success?
I don't see why not. The thing is like with these quarterbacks, and Wes joked about Derek Carr, and yes, he's not top 10 or whatever, but Jalen Hurts,
I think Derek Carr's top 10.
he's borderline.
Yeah.
But you give Derek Carr the Philadelphia Eagles defense, or you know what I mean?
Right. And his offense.
Yeah. And so that's where you get, but it's all about timing. It's like, who knows what could have happened with like Tim Couch or whatever if they would have gone to a team that was good. Right. And that's Hurts was able to go to a team. It was a luxury. They drafted him as a luxury because they had Carson Wentz, who was supposed to be the man. He unseated him, but obviously that was nothing because Wentz sucks. But
so I guess that's my only issue with Hurts is, I mean, he wasn't great when he came into the league, right? He was average to maybe below average, but now he looks really good. But he also has some really good players playing with him.
Yeah, well, you can also say for Mahomes, what would have Mahomes been like if he wouldn't have gone to the Kansas City Chiefs?
No, I agree, 100%. Same argument. You can make that exact same argument for Mahomes.
It's like he would have gone to the Bears, but she would have had what's his name destroying him, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's a different argument. I do think Mahomes has more quarterback skills than Hurts, 100%.
Well, I will not argue anything where, like, if I'm going to draft a quarterback, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I'm just saying this year Hurts is playing out of his mind and is playing as the best quarterback.
So what about Josh Allen? Like, how does Josh Allen fit into this conversation that we're having about Mahomes and Hurts?
Well, I kind of forgot about Joe Burrow. I kind of want to amend and say Burrow at 3 this year because he's playing so much better than since, because I think it was because of his appendicitis. But Josh Allen is right there too. And it's more like because, you watch those Buffalo Bills games and it's kind of like he has to wing it.
Yeah.
He has no real running game.
I mean, he's really controlling the game most of the time.
It's all on him. It's kind of like, what you said. It's like the Eagles, they might go with Sanders or whatever like that. If Josh Allen has a bad game, the Bills lose.
They lose. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, look at the game, the Steelers, Bengals, first week of the season. Burrow throws 5 interceptions, right? And they still almost win. So that means they have a really good team around him also.
Yeah.
But if Josh Allen throws 5 interceptions,
they lost by a lot. Yeah. So Wes, how do you feel Josh Allen fits within the Hurts and Mahomes discussion?
Well, Josh Allen's probably just overall the most talented. I mean, just the stuff he can do on the run, on the fly. The way he runs it, the way he runs the ball is dangerous. I mean, it's dangerous not just for him, it's dangerous for defenders.
Right.
Like the stuff, when he runs, you're just like, oh, what's going to happen?
Right. He's huge.
He's huge. You see him jump over those 2 dudes last weekend, and it's like, that's dangerous, but nice job. But you shouldn't do that too often. I could see doing that in the Super Bowl. Remember when John Elway did that in the Super Bowl? And he's like,
did the 360,
and everyone's like, everyone's like, thinks that the greatest play ever. It's what Josh Allen does it every week.
Right.
He wouldn't be helicopter and he'd just knock the guys over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the
difference. Or he'll just lower his shoulder.
Yeah, right.
And you're just like, oh, don't do that. It's like, oh, that's kind of
cool. But you can't play like Tom Brady. Okay, let's just talk about Tom Brady for a second. This dude has played. He's played his last game. Brock Purdy was 22. Tom Brady has been in the league for 23 years. So he's played in the league more years than Brock Purdy's been alive. So can you play in the league for 23 years doing what Josh Allen does?
Well, maybe he should have stopped at 22 years first.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying we're not talking about Tom Brady like what he should have done. What I'm saying is that can Josh Allen play in the league for 23 years the way he's playing?
Well, I mean, it's different situations too. Like Brady's first 5 or 6 years, he wasn't what he is. You know what I mean? He was kind of more the game manager. He didn't have to do it all, right?
But he
Josh Allen
doesn't
is just
run.
brought in. You have to do it
Yeah.
all.
He doesn't run and put his shoulder down though, right? Like Josh Allen does. You're basically a running back when you're Josh Allen. You're getting beat up. He's not going to play, 20 years in the league. So you're kind of shorten your lifespan when you play like that.
But it's Tom Brady's kind of the anomaly though. Because do you see any other quarterback right now that's going to play that long? Because everyone was talking Russell Wilson, but now look at Russell Wilson, right? I mean, he doesn't look like he's going to be playing another 10 years.
What's Tom Brady's longest run ever? Like 8 yards? Like this dude doesn't run the ball. He doesn't put his shoulder down. And so my question is, can Josh Allen?
Your number 3 quarterback is all he does is run.
Yeah. So let's talk about Fields for a second. Is this a new thing happening in NFL? Is this the way the NFL might go, later? And is there an argument for Justin Fields being a good quarterback? And that's why I threw him in there, because I want to make this argument. Like, this dude's ran. What was the stat? So 50 plus yards in 7 games in a row. He leads the league. Yeah. Right behind Josh Jacobs at 6 games in a row at 50 plus yards. So a quarterback has ran for 50 plus yards 7 games in a row. That's never happened before. So does that make him like, is he a Pro Bowl option? But at the same time, does that make him a new style quarterback? Like, what can we say about Justin Fields? What do you guys think?
Well, with Justin Fields and with any time that's a running quarterback like that, I kind of have to wait for another year. Because look at Robert Griffin, right? His rookie year, he came out and everyone was like, oh man, this guy is good. And then he got hurt. Justin Fields is already getting hurt.
Right.
Now, do I agree though? Like, you have Herbert, Allen, Fields, Hurts, Kyler Murray. You already got a bunch of Daniel Jones. You got a bunch of quarterbacks that can run, right? Trevor Lawrence, he can run. It's kind of going to that way now. I mean, Mahomes, if he wants to, can run.
He runs plenty. Yeah, for sure.
That is what I mean. I know that's the issue with Raider fans is that's why they hate Carr so much. Is they'd like him to run more,
right? And
they want a more mobile quarterback. But I can't say he still need to be able to pass the ball.
Right.
That's the thing. And right now, it's hard to say with Fields because he has no talent around him to pass the ball to.
Well, he doesn't have the line to give him the time to pass the ball. I mean, and Mooney now obviously is on IR, but Mooney and Claypool are decent receivers. And if he has time to throw, like if he can throw the ball, like it's going to be fine. That's what you need to know, right? You need to know, can he actually, make the throws that makes him a good quarterback? That's his big question.
Well, and then Mooney and Claypool, they're not number ones. They're 2 and 3s.
Yeah,
they're good receivers, but Fields still needs a good security blanket number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
Obviously, it wasn't Cole Kmet. He thought it might have been, but
I mean, he's not terrible, but we'll see what happens there. All right. Well, let's move on to running backs. So let's talk about top 3 running backs.
And we're going off of this year or in the future?
No, we're talking about right now. Wes, okay. What do you got? Top 3 running backs.
Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs. Shoot. I got 2. I mean, everybody else, I don't even know.
Justin Fields.
I mean, He's pretty close.
I mean, he basically is kind of running back, but I don't know. I don't know who the third one is. There's a lot of, I mean, the top, I mean, Derrick Henry is, I mean, I guess we could talk Jonathan. I mean, possibly Jonathan Smith. I don't know.
Jonathan Taylor's had a good year. Not a good year, but I see what you're talking about. I mean, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, like they're top. I think Christian McCaffrey, when you look what he's done since he went to San Francisco, it's obviously a whole new year for him. The difference between what he did at Carolina versus what he did at San Francisco, like it's two different seasons. I don't think you can argue that Josh Jacobs is having the best year this year. And it's hard not to put Derrick Henry in there, right?
Well, they're 1-2 in rushing right now.
Right,
so.
exactly. But I think Saquon Barkley and then Christian McCaffrey, they fight for number 3 for me. So I'm going to say Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, and then a tie between McCaffrey and Barkley.
Running back is so difficult now because obviously teams have changed the way that they want to do things. You're not seeing the running game like we grew up with.
Right.
And which I think is kind of stupid, but that's just the reality of it. Honestly, I think teams need 3 good running backs. You don't need a great running back, but you need 3 good running backs because they take such a beating. Because the way they're running them. Look at Deebo Samuel this weekend. Dude, if I had Deebo Samuel, do you think I'm going to run him up the middle? Hell no. No. He almost got his leg broken. He's crying on the sidelines. He thought he broke his leg.
Right.
Why are you running him up the middle?
Well, with Deebo Samuel, I kind of feel like that's what made him at the time a top 5 wide receiver. Think about last year's playoffs. Without Deebo Samuel, they weren't going very far, and that was because he was at running back. Yeah. Before last year's playoffs, was anyone saying Deebo Samuel's a top 5 wide receiver?
No, not at all. Right, yeah. Nobody. I mean, not even close.
No.
If the thing is, what people need to understand about these guys in the middle, these guys are big. And they're not getting any smaller anytime soon.
And they're not getting any slower either. They're getting a lot faster.
and you're gonna start risking more and more injuries. I mean, running backs are already taking a beating. Yeah. There's no reason you can't. Everyone's starting to do this pitch play. They're doing it in college. You might as well do it in the pros. And if you do that with Deebo Samuel, you have to worry about him in the middle of the field, like some guy falling on him. I mean, it's a mess in the middle of the field. You know? You want it, if you want it.
The problem is
run the outside. Run the outside.
Look, you got 6'4", 250-pound linebackers running 4.4s. That's the issue.
Yeah, you can't run. It's hard to run tosses and sweeps and stuff nowadays.
You can't get to the outside.
You know what? You can't do it the conventional way. The way that you've been doing it for 50, 60 years, you can't do it. They're too fast.
Yeah.
You're going to find different ways of getting the ball to the outside. And teams have figured out some ways, but it just taken you're playing the Buccaneers. Deebo Samuel shouldn't be running up the middle at that point in the game. You're just slaughtering the Buccaneers.
Right.
But like he's the best player.
Look, Devin White. Think about a guy like Devin White though, at linebacker. This guy can cover the whole field. Can you get outside of him on either side? No, this guy runs a 4.40 at middle linebacker or playing linebacker.
Right. Yeah, not the conventional way. You're not doing the Packers. The days of the Packers sweep are over.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see any teams running the Packers sweep because it's futile. You're not going to get on the outside. But there are ways to get to the perimeter of the defense to attack the defense. They just don't do it. They're happy with like it's like jousting. We're happy with, we both agree we're gonna run this way, and we'll see who's the bigger man. It's like, yeah, of course, the bigger the bigger teams are gonna win, just like the SEC. They're gonna destroy everybody. The only way to beat the SEC is if you use diversion.
Right. It's faster. So, Derek, what's your top three?
I think Jacobs and Henry, and then I'm going with my third one. He's unconventional way because he reminds me of Roger Craig, but I'm going Austin Eckler.
Eckler's the number one fantasy running back, right?
Yeah, because he's catches the ball.
He catches a lot of passes, and I think I like Eckler a lot, but he's such a safety valve for Herbert, and that's why he gets so many fantasy points. But I like him. I think that's a good number three.
Just for the fact, it is all because of his receiving yards.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, because he has 630 yards rushing, 620 yards receiving. So
this is the biggest argument I think I've seen in sports analysis, fantasy analysis is receiver. So let's talk about top three receivers.
And when you go top three, that's easy, I think. I don't know about the order, but the top three receivers right now, I think there's a clear-cut three receivers right now.
What do you got?
And it's Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and Devontae Adams.
Yeah. Which are the top three in the league as far as yards?
Adams has the most touchdowns. Yeah. And then, we've seen in just the eye test, you look at those three, Tyreek Hill, he can catch a one, and he's gone.
Right.
Jefferson and Adams have made some of the most insane catches this year.
Yeah. The catching ability from those two is ridiculous.
It's like I showed you the one where Adams caught the ball with one hand with a guy's hand in his face.
Yeah. I think that's one of the most popular NFL memes right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the Justin Jefferson one where he lifted up and caught it with one hand.
Yeah.
So, if Cooper Kupp doesn't get hurt, is he in there?
I don't know. It's hard because that's all Stafford threw to.
Right. But he's been good, his whole career.
Yes, I agree, but it's hard to say. I just feel like those three right now this year are insane.
Right. And again, so Jamar Chase, he was hurt for a little bit, but do you really leave Jamar Chase out as one of the best wide receivers?
Yeah, but which one of those three are you going to take out?
Right. No, I get it. What I'm saying is Jamar Chase is ridiculously good.
He is. But if you watch,
what about Diggs? Come on, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, but if you watch the Dolphins Chargers game, and everyone's now talking about how Tua sucks and Herbert's so much better, and that's the argument's over.
Right.
The game was totally different when Tyreek Hill was in the game.
Right.
Did you notice that when he got hurt and wasn't playing? That's when the Dolphins' offense mattered. When he was in there, they couldn't stop him. He changed that Dolphins team this year. They do have Jalen Waddle, but Hill and Jefferson are on pace for 2,000 yards receiving.
Both of them they're almost going to break the record, right? Both of them.
Well, they both should break the record, but they get one more game too.
Right. So Wes, what do you think? How are you feeling about this?
In general, about the same. Justin Jefferson as a number one. Number two, I put Adams. Number three, I put Tyreek Hill.
So you also will leave out Jamar Chase and Stephon Diggs.
4 or 5, just either or. I would put Chase 4 and Jefferson 5. That's the thing about there's a lot of good receivers in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, before the season, if you asked me, I would put Chase 3. But watching what Tyreek Hill can do, I didn't think he could do this. You see, he's the the Charger game. He's hurt. His ankle's hurt, and he just beats the guy, and he
Right.
lives in the end zone, and he's still faster than everybody else. Did you guys see that? I was like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Here. Hold on a second, guys. Go ahead.
Yeah. It was insane, like what he could do.
It's like that guy, they can't catch him. He's hurt. He's
Well,
like,
that's why I felt like it was like just put him in the game at the end of the game because you need to watch for him. Even if he can't run very well, you just still put him out there. Yeah, I think who knows how much longer Hill can do it because his game is predicated on speed. But man, that speed is fast.
it is fast. I took it. I was like, oh, it's Mahomes. It's it's the system and all that stuff. And then you watch him with the Dolphins. You're like, this is stupid. His stats just reflect it. I mean, he had like over 1,000 yards receiving in the first 8 games.
Well, when he even talked, he said that the Chiefs actually held him back. And obviously, maybe he was right because
Yeah, it was a head scratcher. I go, is this guy okay? This guy really thinks he can go to the Dolphins and he's gonna be unleashed, and he did. And so I gotta put him in the top 3. Even though I love Diggs, Jamar Chase is like one of my favorite players, but Chase is gonna get there, but
right.
he's just gotta stay healthy.
If we're talking like not because with Hill, I look at him as an athlete, and Chase is more of an accomplished receiver.
Yeah.
So in a few years when Hill starts to lose a step or something, then of course Chase will be there. But if right now it's like Hill is just incredible, and I love the one thing they talked about is like they were talking about the World Cup, and someone was scoffing at in the World Cup and being like, yeah, because other countries making fun of the US. I'm like, well, you know what? What happened if Tyreek Hill would have played soccer?
Yeah. What happened if he ran the 100?
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, I have a slightly different view on it. If my number one receiver is Devontae Adams, the reason I take Devontae Adams over Justin Jefferson, and it probably won't happen next year or the year after because Jefferson's younger. But at this point, I think Devontae Adams is the person I'll take against any DB, in any situation. I think there are DBs that have, or not control, but have good, defense against Jefferson. And I think Devontae Adams cannot be guarded, is why I take Devontae Adams. So I take Adams, I take Jefferson, and then I take Hill. So we're all on the same page. And I agree with you guys. But I think Jamar Chase is so close
that and if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, right. He could be substituted within any of 3 of them. And I like Jamar Chase, but at this time, yeah, I take him at that 4 spot too. So those are our position players. Love to talk about that.
We don't have to talk about tight end because there's only one.
Yeah, just Travis Kelce. So there's nothing to talk about tight end anymore. So tight end's done. So let's get into our picks. So first week 14, not the best week for us, but not a bad week. I don't think there was, any real big upsets in week 14. Like I think Jacksonville, Tennessee, that was a big one.
Almost saw the Cowboys lose.
Yeah. So, what's funny is, so Wes and I were actually talking on the phone while Dallas and Houston were playing. And it was at the last minute, right, Wes?
Yeah.
And then Houston was at the goal line. And I literally said, look, here's what's going to happen, Wes. Houston's not going to get a touchdown. They're going to go for it on fourth and turn the ball over, and Dallas is going to go down and score and win. And you know why? Because Houston literally wanted to lose. They wanted the first pick. Like, they didn't want to win the game. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that you can go from the 2-yard line for 4 plays, not score, and then let Dallas go 98 yards and win the game. Tell me they're not tanking. Like, do you guys really think that that's not the case? Come on.
Who was in at quarterback? Was it Mills or was it whoever the other guy was?
It doesn't even matter. Like, you're on the 2.
They ran option on
Right.
4th down.
Right.
They ran the dude. I think it was Mills. I mean, come on. I told Steve on the phone. I go. He thinks he's Tommy Frazier. He runs the spin option, and dude, there's no way this is working.
No,
or was it Driscoll?
It was Driscoll. That's it. It's
Driscoll. They literally did not want to get the first down or touchdown.
Option did.
They literally didn't want to score, and then they let Dallas go 98 yards and get a touchdown. Come on. So, to me, that game was ridiculous because Houston, they wanted to prove they could win, and then they wanted to lose at the end, so they still got their draft pick. The Tennessee-Jacksonville game, though, that was a big one because Tennessee got dominated.
Well, I don't understand. Derrick Henry had almost 100 yards in the first half.
Right.
And then he had like 2 in the second half. What happened?
Why would you not keep running him? I get that.
There's so much dysfunction. Okay, so why the Titans fired their GM last week?
Right.
You know why?
How does a GM get fired during the season?
You know why?
And not
because you know why he got fired? Because AJ Brown lit him up. And the rumor was that was his call, and no one, because he was being cheap and didn't want to re-sign AJ Brown.
Get rid of
so the owner got mad because AJ Brown lit him up.
Oh wow!
So how does Carolina beat Seattle?
Man, it's Sam Darnold, man. The power of Sam Darnold.
Look, Seattle's playing well, right? But even if you have a mediocre Geno Smith, you still got Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
Look, Seattle has lost 3 out of the last 4.
Yeah,
so,
Seattle's they may not make the playoffs. I don't think they make the playoffs.
Well, looking at the teams though. I mean, think about this: 2 out of these 4 teams are going to make the playoffs.
Right.
Either the Giants, Commanders, Seahawks, or Lions. Right. So 2 of those make the playoffs.
I'm taking Commanders and Lions.
That's kind of who I think, but yeah, and think about it. The Seahawks lost at home again.
Right.
The 12s.
Well, they got to play the 49ers.
Right. And they got the 49ers here. All right, so let's get into week 15. So let's
good segue here. 49ers Seahawks.
So 49ers at the Seahawks. Derek, what do you got?
I just love the national media and everything, and they're just like all in love with Brock Purdy. It's like, dude, the Buccaneers defense sucks this year.
Right. Still, it's Brock Purdy. Come on.
I mean, he did all right. Let's not make him like Tom Brady 2.0 right here.
No.
But on the other hand, they are playing the Seahawks. And we just said how the
At
Seahawks
home.
lost. Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
the
not
Seahawks
home.
lost to the Panthers at home. They lost to the Raiders at home. 49ers defense is way too strong for the Seahawks.
Right.
Going back to what Steve said weeks and weeks ago about the Giants, I kind of feel like the Seahawks have peaked and now they're going to start losing more games. They overachieved and now they're going to start losing games. So yeah, I got the 49ers by 7.
Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, the 49ers too. I mean, yeah, the whole Brock Purdy thing is it's Mr. Irrelevant. It's gonna suck again when they beat the Seahawks this week because all you're gonna hear about is Mr. Irrelevant.
Fucking Brock Purdy. Best
And
quarterback ever.
and but you know what? I was watching some tape and he is playing well. I will give him that. For his size, he's not very big. But you know what? He has confidence. I think it's a lesson to all these quarterbacks that get $150 million contracts like Dak Prescott. Like, you get all this money, and this guy has more confidence than you. And he's not a very big dude. But you know what?
Right.
He has command of the offense. And he has confidence. And that's why he's successful. And so I think they'll beat the Seahawks probably by 4 points.
But dude,
You got
McCaffrey, you got Kittle, you got Samuel,
got
you got the
weapons,
best defense in the league. Like, dude, I could go out there and win with the 49ers.
But Trey Lance can't.
Yeah, no, you can't.
But the number 3 pick can't,
I'm taking San Francisco as well, and I agree with Derek. I think they're winning by 7. I think Seattle keeps it close. I think San Francisco jumps out early is the problem, and which has happened on Seattle a lot. Gino maybe throws an interception or 2 to start. So I got San Francisco by 7 as well. Let's see. Indianapolis at Minnesota. Wes, what do you got?
Well, I saw on the wires that Jeff Saturday wants to be their permanent coach. So that's why I'm going to take the Vikings beating down the Colts because the whole situation is a complete joke. It's like you're what is this, like some sort of volunteer service? It's your coach in the NFL. You're either qualified, you either can do the job or you can't. And I just I have no faith in Kirk Cousins, but I do have faith in him against the Colts defense.
Right.
And the Colts offense is not that great. So I'm taking the Vikings by 13.
Yeah, I think the Vikings are upset about their loss against Detroit. And I think they come out and they play well. And I got the Vikings by 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say this. I think the Vikings lose in the first round of the playoffs. I don't think they're as good as their record says, but at the same time, they're playing the Colts. So yeah, I got the Vikings by 7.
Yeah, I think we got the consensus there. I think this is a tough game. Baltimore at Cleveland. And I picked Baltimore. I get picked against Baltimore last week, but I'm going to pick against them again because at Cleveland, I think Deshaun Watson is playing better. I think Chubb's going to have a good game, and I'm going to take Cleveland by 3. Yeah, Derek.
This was a very tough one. It is kind of a coin flip for me, but I kind of feel like Deshaun's still not back yet. He's still pretty rusty. J.K. Dobbins is healthy again for the Ravens, so that gives them an added dimension. Tyler Huntley is decent. When it comes to backups, he's probably a top 5 backup. I just don't think the Browns have it this year. I kind of think they're kind of already done. They're just trying to get Deshaun Watson reps now. So I got the Ravens by 3.
Wes?
Yeah, the only concern I had for the Ravens, and I when I hear the words concussion protocol for Huntley, it's almost like he's in timeout. Like he's gonna play. But when you hear it, it's like, oh, he's not gonna play. It's like, no, he's gonna play probably because he has to go through the, oh yeah, you're fine, here, just do this. Yeah, you're good. Get out there. Like that's exactly what's gonna happen. If Tyrell Huntley plays, I think the Ravens are gonna win, not by a lot, like 5 points.
And he's already been cleared.
He has been cleared.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has been cleared. He's playing.
Eh,
So big swing game here because we're within 3 games now, Derek. So we're getting close. So this is a swing game. Wes is within 5 games. So here we go. This is a swing game.
Don't
Go
they start
Cleveland.
choking down the stretch here, Steve?
Let's go Browns.
don't pull a Wes in fantasy football.
And here's a big game. Miami at Buffalo. In Buffalo. So Derek, what do you got?
Got 2 words for you. Snow game.
5 to 7 inches.
Which means Bills are going to win.
You think so?
History shows, right, Wes? I don't think Miami in snow is going to do very well.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Talking about Dan Marino in playoff games, like put up 45 points and the Bills put up 55 points.
That's Dan Marino.
That's Dan Marino. It is.
Tua
is not Dan Marino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan Marino is not
Figure that
walking
one
through that door.
Yeah.
I got the Bills covering. It's a 7-point spread. But if it's a snow game, anything can happen.
Right. And it's a big snow game. 5 to 7 inches.
Let's see they move it to Detroit.
Yeah, right. What do you got, Wes?
Yeah, I got sadly I got the Bills because if it snows and all else fails, I think Josh Allen's just gonna run the ball.
Right.
And he's like a huge grizzly bear in the snow. Like
You're like a big bear, man.
He's like a big bear with these
Big
claws.
fucking claws.
And no one's gonna want to tackle me. Who wants to tackle that guy?
You know how to kill the bunny with the claws?
Like that's just gonna
Yeah.
I say the Bills by 10. The way the Dolphins are playing after last week, that was bad.
It's hard to pick the Dolphins in Buffalo with snow. Yeah, I gotta agree. I gotta go with Buffalo by at least 6.
I think I heard today that they actually put heaters on the sidelines at the Chargers game because the players were cold.
55
You're in LA, dude. Come to where we're at.
Chargers Miami game, they had heaters at 55 degrees.
Oh my god, dude.
You kidding me? You kidding me?
Is Josh Allen going to go out sleeveless in the snow?
I mean, he might even wear pads. Like this guy might not wear pads. These are Saturday games, by the way.
I know. That's awesome.
First part of Saturday games. So we got a whole weekend of football. It's awesome. Let's see. Philadelphia at Chicago. Let's see. Wes, what do you got?
I am taking Philadelphia just because they're a machine right now. And I hear that Justin Fields kind of sick. Is that true? You got a cough or something?
I wouldn't play him.
It's called the let's tank this so we can get the
right. Let's take
the
number 2.
Here?
Let's take the number 2 overall.
Let's take it because we got the number 2 almost locked in.
Yeah,
they keep losing.
Well, I think someone jumped them now.
No, they're still number 2.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, it's just the Eagles. The Eagles are going to win. They'll win easy, 10 points.
Yeah, the Bears defense is trash. But when Justin Fields runs the ball and throws the ball, their offense is tough. Can they beat Philly? Absolutely not. 100%. Philly's going to win by 10 plus. But here's what's going to happen. Justin Fields still going to run for 50 plus yards. And probably break a record at some point.
Or his leg.
Or his leg. Or his head.
The thing about Justin Fields is, I mean, you just watch him and the eye test just tells you this guy can be really incredible if he has the right coach. And I just still don't think that they have the right design for him. You need to design something or he doesn't get hurt.
If he stays healthy for the next 2 years, they're good. They're good. But Justin Fields has to stay healthy for 2 years. That's the issue.
Yeah. And then the other, so here's the thing, Steve, bad news. They aren't the number 2 pick anymore. The Seahawks are, because of the vaunted Denver Broncos keep losing. They will get the number 2 pick, which will be the Seahawks.
Wow.
But yes, in this game, it will help out the Bears because, the Eagles will win by 14.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big game there. So Atlanta, New Orleans, I think this is one of the hardest picks of the week. I think second hardest pick. We'll get back to the first hardest pick. Because Atlanta, New Orleans, to me, is a deadlock, right? Like both these teams they suck equally.
And they still can go to playoffs.
Right. And they're both fighting for a playoff, which is the problem. So they're both going to play hard, right? Jameis Winston can come back, but New Orleans said, we don't want Jameis Winston back. We're going to start Dalton. So even though Winston is playable, they're still starting Dalton. But at this point, I think, with Desmond Ridder playing for Atlanta, I think New Orleans still has the better team. So I'm going to go with New Orleans by a field goal.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, I don't think Mariota wasn't good, but he wasn't the reason they were losing games. And I don't think Desmond Ridder is going to be a reason they're winning games. And you know what? The Red Rifle, the
Red Rocket.
He'll just not make that many mistakes. And they got Kamara and Olave. Right. And that's at home. So I'm taking the Saints by they're going to cover the 4.5. I'll say they win by 3.
So they're not covering.
They're not going to cover.
Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, it's a tough game. I'm just going to go with Atlanta just because I think Ridder is going to come in, and I like the way he played. I'm sorry to say this in preseason, but I watched a lot of him play. I think he has something to prove. I think they win a really close game. I'm going to take Atlanta by 2.
Wow, swing game. Swing game for Wes. Trying to make up a little odds here. Okay, so Derek, here you go. I think this is the hardest game of the week, to be honest with you. Detroit at the Jets. Yeah, Lions at the Jets. Yeah. What do you got?
I just picked it because
I haven't picked yet, so go ahead and pick.
I've been looking at it, but you know what? I'm going to roll them bones and go with that hot hand of the Detroit Lions.
Oh.
you know what? They got Sauce Gardner on the Jets, but guess what? The Lions got Amon St. Brown and Jamison Williams now.
Right.
And I don't think
DJ
the Jets
Chark.
offense has that much.
Yeah.
And I think the Jets are starting to kind of have a tailspin here.
Okay.
So yeah, I got the Lions by 3 on the road because they're the hottest team in the NFL right now.
What do you think, Wes?
Well, so there's only been one team in the NFL that's made the playoffs after going 1-6, and that was in 1970 Bengals, right when the league merged. It's possible. I think there's a lot of apathy in the NFL right now. There's one team that's not apathetic. That's the freaking Detroit Lions. They go out there and play hard. They should have beat the Bills on Thanksgiving. Like, the Bills are really lucky to come out with the win. That just shows you how good they are. I think they're going to beat the Jets. I think they're on a roll. And I'm taking the Lions by 4 points. Oh, and you see Dan Campbell today? The pass to Sewell, play, he didn't know was happening. And the reason he didn't know was happening, he said he was like mesmerized by the wave. They're doing the wave in the freaking stadium, and he gets on what's that show, that podcast that Aaron Rodgers always does. I always forget their name.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah. And he tells Pat McAfee, he's like, yeah, I heard them saying what they're gonna do, but I wasn't really listening. I was watching the wave, and then I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, what the fuck is this, dude?
Yeah. Look. Here's the thing about Dan Campbell. This guy knows football. And yeah, there's coaches that like Mike McDonald, right? He's a fucking scientist. But there's also guys like Dan Campbell that understand about playing hard, like going to the ball, like just giving 100%, 110%. And I think that's what he has the Lions doing right now. So
well, that's the thing. He's the CEO. He doesn't need to be an offensive guru or defensive guru. It's like the Raiders last year with Bisaccia, right? Bisaccia was just like, just go out and play. I'm not going to tell you what to do, right?
Well, everybody thinks like Ditko was a good coach, right? Ditko was a good coach. Yeah, Buddy Ryan was a good coach. He just told you to do what you got to do and yelled at you and like just pushed you. And I think that's what Dan Campbell's doing. And they're finally healthy. And so I'm taking the Lions also. I think the Lions win by a touchdown.
It's not good for you, Steve, because if the Lions start being good.
Yeah, it's not good at all. But wait till next year. You'll see this Justin Fields.
You can imagine.
You'll see Justin Fields.
You imagine the Bears and the Lions as the top 2 teams in the division.
Well, Green Bay is just not doing good.
Yeah.
So let's see. Pittsburgh at Carolina. Wes, what do you got?
I think another team that's maybe not so apathetic is Carolina. I think they're playing good football right now. They're tough. I think playing at home. I think they win by 5 points.
Wow, Carolina by 5, Derek. What do you feel about that?
Well, is who's starting at quarterback for the Steelers? Is it Pickett or Trubisky?
Yeah, I think it's Trubisky.
Then I'm taking the Panthers by 6. No, but in all honesty, I don't think it matters who's at quarterback for the Steelers. Like Wes said, and then it's another one. They're a hot hand. They have something to play for, and
right,
they're playing out of their minds compared to what talent they have. But I think that's in some of these games, like against the Steelers at home, that's going to get them a win.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Carolina has something to play for, and they're playing for the playoffs because they're not far behind, right? And I think Carolina wins by 5 as well. So we're in the same boat here. Here's one: Dallas at Jacksonville. I'm going to take Dallas because even though I think Jacksonville's a decent team, I think Dallas needs to win this game. And Jacksonville is such a up and down team. Like they're in their down this week. So I'm going to take Dallas by 10. What do you got, Derek?
I was so close to going with the Jaguars on this one. This screams up an upset game here. But since the Jaguars pulled an upset last week, I don't think they're going to do it 2 weeks in a row. I feel like you said they're up and down. Like they'll play and they beat the Chargers and then they play really bad the next week. They're still young. I don't think they can get a bunch of consecutive. They haven't got it together yet. So, yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys by 3.
By 3?
Yeah, I think it's tough. It's a tough game.
What's the spread?
4.
4? Okay. Wes, what do you think?
Yeah, it's really hard for me to pick the Cowboys ever because it's difficult.
Because nobody likes the Cowboys.
I don't know. I watched that show Get Up, and they started doing imitations of Michael Irvin talking about the Cowboys because he gets really into it. Like they're so great, Dak Prescott, and then you have everyone defending Dak. Well, you're being hard on Dak Prescott. Really? $150 million?
No, because he's trash, dude. Come on.
Well, but here's the thing. I mean, he just
wait. Tell me Dak Prescott is good. Tell me. Give me one reason that Dak Prescott is good.
He's had 12 touchdowns and 8 interceptions since he's come back from his thumb surgery. And they asked Jerry Jones, do you think there's a problem here? He's like, well, he's just being aggressive. He's being aggressive and making bad decisions. He's thrown 8 interceptions and 12 touchdowns. I mean, he's the weak point. He's the weak link of the team.
He is. Cooper Rush should be playing at quarterback.
I just want to think about, like we talk about, I don't know, let's bring up like Daniel Jones or Carr or, people like that. If you gave them the Cowboys skill positions.
Exactly.
And like even last year, you had Amari Cooper too. And you guys did nothing.
Yeah. It's just I'm sure he would be better with the Houston Texans. Dak Prescott would be a lot better quarterback. There's too much pressure being a Cowboy quarterback. Can't handle the pressure, you can't be the quarterback. You shouldn't want $150 million. Because when you ask for more money, I think what people understand why Tom Brady is so successful is because he didn't take as much money and could build a better team around him. Dallas has got a good team, but at the same point, you got to play up to what your team's playing. He's not doing it.
No, he's trash.
Well, them is
trash.
They paid Ezekiel Elliott, which that is
too. Yeah, that was the dumber. That was the dumbest.
Yeah, Pollard, who's twice as good. So
yeah, can't play him. You can't pay them both.
So what do you got, Wes?
Cowboys.
He's like, I just talked a bunch of shit about the Cowboys, and I'm taking them.
Well, I mean, it's because of their defense. It's because of their defense. Their defense is I think they win by. It's gonna be a close game.
All right, so let's see. Next game is Kansas City, Houston. I think it's an easy game. I got Kansas City by 2 touchdowns. I mean, because why not? Houston's fucking trash.
Yeah, ditto. Let's just move on. This game's not even much.
Yeah, Wes.
Kansas City.
You agree? All right, Arizona at Denver. Derek, what do you got?
Good news for Steve. Back in the second pick. because I have the Denver
There you
Broncos
go.
winning this game.
Yes. Yes.
There's just too much dysfunction going on with the Cardinals. Kyler Murray towards ACL. Denver's defense way too good. Cardinals defense is not very good. So I got the Broncos winning by 3, 6-3.
6-3.
got,
What do you think?
4-5. I got
Like
Broncos 4-5. Like, no, I'm taking the Broncos too. I mean, that I kind of looked at the game. I was like, "Ooh, this is ugly. This is like if you got season tickets for this game, it's like you're just like, I'll just give these away." Like,
Watch, we'll see it on local TV though.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah, we'll get to watch it because Denver's right next to us, and so is Phoenix. So I'm taking the Broncos by 4.
Yeah, I mean, I had the Broncos by 3 as well. It might be 6-3. It might be horrible. I think we're all in the same.
Well, I heard Russell Wilson concussion protocol, so the Broncos will score 50 now.
Like, who cares? No, because their defense is all that's good.
Yeah.
So, Patriots at Las Vegas. Wes, what do you got?
Game of the week, Sunday Night Football. Oh, wait a minute! No, it's the Commanders and the
We're
Giants.
switching it.
The two most exciting teams in the league, right? So exciting those teams are. So I guess I think the Raiders win this game because Mac Jones let me down last week. I mean, he didn't have to do much. Just get Hunter Henry the ball.
Dude,
he's your best offensive player. You don't want to throw the ball?
That's rough.
Guess what you get this week? The hammer. Raiders. 3 touchdowns. We won by 3 touchdowns, 21 points.
No.
Yeah, they're doing it. Devontae Adams is going to tear it up.
I mean, I think the Raiders win, so I'm taking the Raiders, but I think they're only winning by a touchdown because New England's defense is good. Their offense is trash, but their defense is solid. And so
the Raiders have nothing to play for. This is when they play well. They think their season.
I'm taking the Raiders by a touchdown.
This was also a game I couldn't decide. But then when I saw that the Patriots are favorite, I'm picking the Raiders because that's, the Raiders just blow games when they're supposed to win. And Belichick's there, so it's not like you got a head coach who just came off of couch. Their quarterback has been there for more than 2 days, so the advantage is the Raiders there because they're not playing a couch coach and stuff. Plus, for the first time in it seems like forever, they will have Hunter Renfrow and Darren Waller on the field.
Oh, really?
You'll finally get your full complement of skill position players.
I feel better about that now.
So I got the Raiders by 10. And then it's because what's going to happen is the Jets lose, the Chargers lose, the Raiders beat the Patriots, and then all of a sudden everyone's going to be like,
wait. So
there's a chance.
Let's go. So you're saying there's a chance. So let's go to the next week. Our next game is Tennessee at the Chargers. So I'll lead off here. I think this is the hardest game to pick of the whole week. I think it doesn't matter. Every other game I picked at least a little bit. This game, haven't picked yet. I don't know who's going to win this game. But I'm going to go with the Chargers. Because I flipped a coin and Chargers are going to win.
When they're at home.
Yeah, I took the home team. Chargers are going to win by a touchdown.
this is difficult for me because these
You
are
want the
two
Chargers
teams.
to lose.
No, it's just more like both these teams, you have no idea what they're going to do any
Right.
week out of the year. I mean, it's like, oh, you're like, oh, the Titans should win. Derrick Henry should run all over this team. And then he ends up with like 8 carries. Or the Chargers, oh, they're so talented. They should go in and beat, this team. And then they lose. I just feel like the Chargers' biggest weakness is their run defense. So that goes right into what the Titans do. So that's why I'm got the Titans winning by 3.
And the Titans' biggest weakness is their pass defense.
Right. But they have a great pass rush.
And you got Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Gerald Everett. Like, man, it's tough. Like, I agree. Like, it's hard.
But then the thing is the Chargers' offensive line is not very good.
Yeah.
And the Titans' defensive line is very good. Just so if you watch like when the Titans played the Chiefs, they had Mahomes running all over the place. But yeah, you're right. And its thing is like it's Herbert against Tannehill. So of course the Chargers could easily win because I'm putting more faith in Herbert than Tannehill.
Right.
But I just think the running game and the defensive line of the Titans should win. But no, I don't.
Yeah, again, I think hardest game of the week. Hardest game. Wes, what do you think?
It's like when it's kind of the same thing with the Raiders. Tannehill, you're expecting him not to do anything because we all think he's not very good, which he's not. But then he comes out and he throws for 300 yards and beats Chargers. And, Henry has his usual day and not 300 yards, but I'm just saying he won't be the reason they lose.
Did you say Tannehill's going to throw for 300 yards?
Well, that's what he did a couple weeks ago. But I'm just in general, he's not going to be the reason why they lose. If they
is that deja vu?
No,
it's the Matrix here. You taking the red pill or the blue pill?
I don't know. I'm taking the Welch's pill. I'm drinking grape juice.
So who are you taking, Wes? Break it down here.
Titans.
Taking the Titans?
Yep.
Man, that's another swing game. Oh, you guys.
This is going to be, or Steve, you're going to be sweating here.
I know. This is tough. I'm only up by 3 games. All right, Cincinnati at Tampa. Derek.
Remember when everyone was saying that the Bucs are back and Tom Brady is this? They just made that comeback and da-da-da-da. And then they go and stink up the place the next week because that's who we thought they were. That's who they are. They're not very good this year.
You let them off the hook.
The NFC
They
South.
are who we thought they are.
Exactly. And the Bengals, besides the Lions, are the hottest team. I mean, the Bengals are the second.
I think that the Bengals are the hottest team in the league.
Yeah. And so, I got the Bengals running roughshod here. Primetime Joe here is going to take out Mr. Brady because that's another thing. It's like these young quarterbacks, that's a huge challenge. They want to show them up. So I got the Bengals by 10.
Wes, what do you got?
Yeah, I got the Bengals winning, even though I know, Bengals are on a roll, but it is, Brady has officially become the gunslinger that knows he's going to get gunned down, and he knows he's getting gunned down, but he's not going to go down.
45 fucking years old, dude. Come on.
They talked about him playing for the 49ers. Like the 49ers are going to get him next year, right? On the cheap.
Dude, look.
He ain't got nothing else to do now. He's got no personal
He's
life.
not married. He's like, maybe I will. I mean, shit, might as well play till I'm 60 now. I don't even have a life. It's like done. Like, okay, you go to the Niners. But I wouldn't take him lightly because I think, it's Brady. but I still take the Bengals by 6 points.
Yeah, I mean, I got the Bengals by 6 as well. I got the same number there. But here's the thing, dude. This guy has been playing football for fucking 23 years. So I didn't even care if he loses. I'm a Tom Brady fan. I'm a fan of anybody who can play football that long. That's all I'm saying.
I am too, but you know what? The NFL is a "what have you done for me lately" league.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they have
What's
no
going on with
respect
Brady?
for a dude that won 7 Super Bowls, and played for 23 years. Like, come on, guys. Like,
Threw for 100,000 yards.
What are we doing here? Right? I mean, Jesus Christ. But yeah, he can't beat Joe Burrow and Chase, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Too much offense.
Not many people go out on their own terms, and this is what
Right.
happened here with Brady. Is he stayed too long?
Right. But you know what? Even if he goes out now, like he still is out at the top. So, I mean, he could have left after he won the last Super Bowl at Tampa, when he went there. But at the same time, even if he goes out now, he's still at the top.
Yeah. But it's and it's not just him, it's the team. Think about last year. They were with a player or two away from being able to go to the championship game for the Super Bowl. And then in this year, it's just that they're garbage.
Well, first of all, who runs cover 0 on the last play of the game against fucking Cooper Kupp? You're going to run cover 0?
Well, obviously Patrick Graham does, right?
Yeah.
Against the Baker Mayfield and the Rams.
Oh God.
Well, that's a Raiders problem. I think it was Todd Bowles who was the coach, right?
It was.
Come on, dude, cover 0.
And then they gave him the head coaching job.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, let's just move on. It's frustrating me.
Wes's favorite team?
Oh, the Giants and the Commanders. Wes, what do you got?
Oh, don't.
It's all you, buddy.
A tie? You can't pick a tie.
I mean, they may tie.
I mean, we lose if they tie. So if you go pick a tie, right?
I know I can't do it.
I mean, that tie is a win, right?
I gotta pick Washington just because I think the Giants are just inept offensively, and they're pretty bad. I think the Washington does play defense. I think it's going to be the most boring Sunday night game we ever see, most likely.
We've seen some bad ones this year, though.
Yeah, I mean,
this might be the worst.
They could have flexed out. We could have watched Detroit and the Jets. That would have been money. Detroit and the Jets. Oh. No, we get this. So I'm picking Washington.
I mean, I agree. Like, I'm going to take the Commanders by a field goal. I think it will be the worst game that we've seen on Sunday Night Football. It'll be like the Bears and the Commanders when they played Thursday night.
Oh, that was bad.
I think it's the same game. I think it's going to happen at 9-6. Commanders. Derek, what do you got?
Wasn't there like a Denver game that was just really bad?
Like every Denver game?
Wasn't it? So is it Sunday night? Is that Collinsworth? And
no, it was San Francisco. Denver had a horrible game.
Yeah, remember? And they were like talking like they're like, I can't believe how bad this game is. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Commanders too. Like me and Steve said earlier, we think the Commanders are gonna sneak into the playoffs, so they got to win this game. So I got the Commanders by 7.
Yeah, I think they get that last spot. So last game, Rams at Green Bay. Wes, what do you got?
Uh, you know, it's great. Like, you turn on your TV and you hear music playing. You're like, what the hell is Lady Gaga coming out with a new album? And no, they're trying to promo the Monday night game like it actually matters. And they keep playing the same song. It's like, what is this Lady Gaga? Like, when did you start? It was like, this is what you do when you expected these teams to be playoff teams in the end. When you
That's
take this,
hilarious.
it's like, what are you trying to get 19-year-olds to watch the game? Like, so this is a hard one because Baker, he.
You think Baker's hot right now?
Actually,
you think Baker's hot?
I mean,
come on, dude. Come on.
Versus the Packers. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't even want to play football
doesn't
anymore.
want to play.
Doesn't even care.
It's like you have one dude that's playing for his career, and the other one's like, you know what? I'm checking out.
He's like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
But you know what? I'm gonna take the guy who doesn't give a shit. Anyway, just play at home. Take the Packers.
I am also going to take the guy who doesn't give a shit by a touchdown.
I'm also going to say that he doesn't give three shits about Baker Mayfield or anything. And I am taking the Packers also to win by 10 because it's kind of like our Sunday night and Monday nights are kind of free this week, I think.
Yeah. That's a horrible games that they have. Like, how is this primetime games? And you want people to watch?
But yeah, it's like Lions Jets. That would have been an awesome game.
Right. Or what was the other game?
Titans Chargers.
Yeah, Titans Chargers. That's absolutely it's already an afternoon game. Why not just push it back? Come on. Those are two teams fighting for the playoffs.
But I think it's because the Chargers have had like 4 Sunday night games.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been there all night. So as we finish up here, let's talk about HSC Podcast, playoffs, fantasy football. Wes just missed the playoffs.
Done.
Just so close.
If he would have been playing the beginning of the season.
Just so close. And Josh beat you from your loss by most points.
Yeah.
So Wes unfortunately did not make the playoffs.
So how does this feel, Steve? You got the number 1 seed. You're playing
Right.
Josh. But he had more points than...
Yeah, he's like number 3 in points.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about it at all. I actually wish Wes would have won.
You can't be having a Denver Bronco fan winning our league, Steve.
I know. Yeah. And so, the problem is Josh was super excited to win. Like he was playing hard.
Steve, you should have benched some guys.
I know I should have benched some guys. It's crazy though. In our other league, Derek,
we're both you snuck in at the end.
I snuck in at the end, and so we got 2 playoffs in both leagues.
Yep. Yeah, my game, the guy I played, if I would have lost, you would have taken my spot.
Yes, that's right.
But I won, and so you got the guy that I beat spot.
Well, that was funny. It's because it doesn't matter which one of you lost. If I
You
won,
were in.
I was in. Yeah, so that was great. And so that's exciting. So both of our leagues were both in the playoffs, and we might play each other in the championship.
Yeah, we don't play each other in the first round, but we can play in the championship.
So it'll be championship games. I think it'll be awesome if we both win, and then in both leagues we play each other in championship.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. And then we'll be the best fantasy football players ever.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. How do you feel about that, Wes?
I'm gonna go to Vegas. See you guys in a couple months.
Well, I was 12-2 or 11-2.
Yeah, you were. No, not that league.
In the HSC playoffs.
Yeah, you were 12-2. I was 11-3.
12-2. Look at that.
And you had the highest points scored by
Like 50 points, right?
60.
So look at that. I am the fantasy football expert. So everybody, watch the podcast.
I am the
have,
playoff
man.
fantasy football expert, and
oh man, that's good stuff. Sorry, Wes. Like,
Boo.
man, that was rough.
it was
dude.
close too, but that's what you get for having Patriots.
Mac and cheese.
I know you were watching Monday Night Football. Like, come on, Hunter Henry, come on, and he got like
he
a
almost
lot of
had a
points.
touchdown.
That was rough, dude.
I should have known better.
Dude, I thought he was gonna
Never,
get it
never again.
because he had like what 10, 11 points.
Yeah, he
It's
had
like,
3 receptions for 70-something
yeah,
yards.
it's like, man, Hunter Henry's gonna make it.
And
So
then they just stopped throwing the ball to him.
for all of you listening, you're going to see the end of the HSC podcast, Fantasy Football. Hopefully, it'll be Derek and I in the championship. If not, doesn't matter.
Well, and then in ESPN leagues, it's also weird is it's a 2-week playoff for each game. So
we got 2 weeks. Next week we'll give you the update, and then 2 weeks from now will be the final.
which is kind of nice because if you have a team that has someone ridiculously go off one game, he doesn't screw you. You could still make a catch up in the next week.
Yeah, I was talking to Josh, and he didn't understand how that worked. And I was like, "No, we play for 2 weeks." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "No, we add the sum of both weeks, and whoever has the highest sum wins."
The only issue, and because this happened to me years and years ago, is when I had Peyton Manning and he was going crazy. And then they sat him for the last week of the season.
Right.
In the championship game. So
you gotta sub them out.
Well, I'm afraid because of Jalen Hurts. That's the only one I'm afraid of.
Yeah, you might lose there because they might be sitting him. That's why I got Geno Smith.
They're not benching, you're not sitting him, right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, guys. Well, appreciate it. Thanks for the time tonight. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe and like if you're watching us on YouTube. If you're watching us Anchor or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time.